Welcome to InnerGLOW, the podcast that helps you to ditch anxiety, judgment, stress, and self-doubt, and instead embody ease, confidence, flow, abundance, and self-love. I'm your host, Bhavna Meg, mindset and energy coach, and founder of Stepping Into You. I work with individuals just like you on emotional, mental, and energetic levels to help you to fall in love with yourself and glow from the inside out. This is episode 12, Connecting to the Present Moment. In today's episode, we'll be exploring the present moment versus the past or the future, and why connecting to and becoming more and more present creates for more peace, wholeness, and freedom. I'll be introducing a couple of different concepts, duality, and talking about timelines as well. Listen all the way to the end to create or enhance your practice with connecting to the beautiful now. Life is very much lived in stages of and aspects of. Life is very much lived in aspects of duality, and past and future are one of those dualities. In the same way as happy and sad, love and fear, and various others are dualities within our lives. For one to exist, the other must as well. However, when we find ourselves in the present moment, we let go of those dualities. We come into a state of oneness. We come into a state of centered, and as is the case for the episode today, into the present moment. And in this present moment, we allow ourselves the opportunity to create more, which might sound a little bit contradictory, because how can you create more or want to create more without thinking about your future and what it is that you want? Now you're absolutely allowed to do that. You're absolutely allowed to step into visioning and imagining what type of future might be possible for you. Coming back to the present moment, however, allows you to connect in with what is happening with you, your body, your mind, your energy, your spirit right now, and how you are being in your current environment. In the sense of duality, the more time we spend regretting things that we've done in the past or haven't done in the past, or worrying about things that may or may not happen in our future, the further away we go from and separate from the present moment. The challenge begins when we are doing this so often, that is, regretting things in the past or worrying about stuff that has happened in the past, or worrying and pondering on things that have or haven't happened in the future. The more that we do this, the more our body learns that this is our natural state of being, and our mind and body then continues to reinforce these states of thinking and being. And that's what we continue to do. We are not able to connect to the present moment because we're so used to and so habitualized into this state of worry, regretting the past and worrying about the future. And then we become stuck in either side of this duality or flip-flopping between either one of them. And this really creates a sense of imbalance in most people, actually. A lot of clients that I see who are worrying about their future or have got a lot of regrets around things that have happened in the past, or have got a lot of energy and trauma and stress in the past that they cannot heal themselves from, find themselves stuck there far too often and unable to be in the present moment. Where, as I said at the beginning, this is where we find ourselves in much more higher states and greater states of peace and happiness. Now, the other concept that I wanted to introduce to you today is being explored quite a lot in the quantum sciences, and it's around timelines. And the idea is that everything is happening right now. There is no past, there is no future. It's simply on a different timeline. So let me try and visualize this for you. So if you draw 4 straight lines, the top line is where you are right now. The one below it is maybe 3 weeks ago. The one below that is 5 years in the future. The one below that is 2 years ago. Those are happening in exactly this moment. They're just happening on a different timeline. And this is amongst dimensions and timelines. These are some of the explorations that are being done in science at the moment. The beauty with this that I find is in the space of energy, that if everything is happening right now, everything has the potential to be changed right now. And when we can tap into trauma that has happened in what we consciously classify as the past, we are simply tapping into a different timeline. Equally, with the premise of the conscious past and present on a linear level, on one line, we can still do exactly the same thing. Quantum entanglement shows us that everything is connected. So when you affect one thing, it will affect another, which is incredibly powerful for us as beings, that we have, on one hand, created more and more stress and trauma around an event that has happened to us in the past by talking about it again, by remembering the pain of it more and more, by embedding it through this repetition. And we've given it that much more strength, power, and weight in our lives. With the same mechanism, we can heal ourselves from that particular stress or trauma by tuning into what it would feel like to be at peace, to have no attachment, to be calm, to be whole again from that particular event, and amplify that across the last time you experienced those particular emotional states of being. And as is the understanding within quantum entanglement, that the initial trauma will also be connected to that particular state of being that you are currently tuning into, and so will be impacted and affected, and allow for a healing to take place, allow for that energy to be cleared out of your system. Now, this I've experienced working with clients on many occasions, as well as with myself, where I can tap into a particular state of being that I might be experiencing right now in this moment, and ask myself the question, which I've shared with you a number of occasions before. What part of me is it that is wanting to experience anger, wanting to experience jealousy, wanting to experience loathing or frustration or stress or fear or anxiety? What part of me is wanting to experience that? And in the moment, whatever the emotional state is, doing an energy clearing of that with the awareness and invitation, that question, I'm able to clear and create healing of whatever initial trauma that created and manifested that state of being in my body and in my energy fields. Before we continue with the next part of the show, if what I've shared with you today is resonating with you, leave a review. It goes a long way to help share the love with others who are going through the same things and would benefit from the tips and tools to turn on their inner glow. Another way to share the love is by making a donation at patreon.com/stepping into you to share your love with me and with others. Now, those are two very large concepts to introduce in such a short episode. And we'll definitely come back to those and touch on those again as we move forward and do some more shows. And I'll certainly be looking to explore those with guests as they start to come onto the show as well. But let's come back to how we can use some of this information to become more and more present, and what benefit that really brings us in terms of our own personal well-being. And I'll start with a bit of an example to help you to connect in with what it is that we're trying to do. A great way that we can become more and more present is by being completely connected and absorbed by the thing that it is that we're doing. We lose ourselves in the moment. When we lose ourselves in the moment of an activity, say, for example, you might be writing a song, you might be painting, you might be taking a walk on the beach, you may be gardening, and you're completely feeling into the connection that you have with the plants and what it is that you're doing with your pruning and seeding and picking the fruits of your labor. Being completely absorbed in that particular moment, you've lost yourself into the now. In that moment, you'll often find a sense of peace. All other emotions seem to disappear. And it's often in these moments that we tend to engage our creative brains, our creative thinking, our ability to imagine and vision. And you may remember having epiphanies or light bulbs going off when you are experiencing these states of being lost in the moment. I, for one, know when I'm having a shower in the morning, I can be completely in the moment, and light bulb after light bulb after light bulb will be going off for things that I've been trying to get my head around. Of course, one of the most amazing ways to connect with the present moment more and more is through a daily, and if not daily, a regular meditation practice. And having a regular meditation practice allows you to sit with yourself and continue to bring yourself back into the present moment, noticing and becoming aware of your thoughts, noticing and becoming aware of emotions or discomfort in your body, and still allowing and bringing yourself back to the present moment. In a previous episode, we've talked about using the breath to anchor yourself to the present moment. And this is a fantastic way to bring yourself back. When you find yourself worrying about the future, about things that have happened, that haven't happened, and find yourself lost in the past around things that have been regretful, been hurtful, been whatever they've been, use your breath, and you can use your breath to bring yourself back to the present moment. Today, I'm going to share with you a slightly different tip to help you to connect to the present moment more and more, just on a day-to-day basis. For me, it's always a bit of an experiment. I like to try things out and see how they work and how I feel afterwards. And this is the best way to test new information. When you're learning new things, go out and try them and see how they feel in your body, see what your emotional state becomes, what your thinking becomes. The experience of it is really important to validate whether or not it's true for you and whether it works for you or not. Now, this particular tip, I'm grateful to live by the beach and get to walk on the beach often and have my feet in the water often. But even when I lived in the city, it was something that I used to do every now and again just to really connect in with my body and the present moment. I would really bring my attention when I'm walking to my feet and how my feet are landing on the pavement or in the sand in the water, and how I'm placing them, particularly in the water. The ripples that are being created by every step that I'm taking, how slowly I could move to reduce the amount of ripples and effect that I was having on the water. This helps me to get super present. The other things that I might be thinking, if I'm finding myself getting distracted still, feeling into the sensation of the water and the sand on my feet, how it feels when my feet go through the water and touch the sand, the soft, wet sand underneath, and then how it feels as I lift my foot and my toes and move it to take another place in front of me. This is not about quietening your thoughts. This is about focusing them on one specific thing that you're doing right now and engaging your thinking into something that you're experiencing right now. And of course, you'll find your mind wandering into different things, thinking about work, thinking about home, thinking about dinner and lunch, thinking about what happened last week, thinking about a conversation that you had at some point somewhere about someone in some time. And the moment you catch that, you bring your focus and your thoughts back to walking. You're doing this constant training of your thoughts to be able to stay in one place. And this is really, really cool because as you start to train, if you've got a meditation practice already, this is going to really significantly support your meditation practice to be able to bring yourself back, and to have more and more focus. Over time, you'll likely find with this particular technique or with using your breath or something else, you'll find that you do increase your state of peace, your state of presence in the present moment, and you're able to just be. This is again not to say that you're not allowed to think about the future, because of course you are. You're allowed to imagine, you're allowed to visualize what it is that you want. You're allowed to plan for things that you want in the future. Once you've done that, come back to the present moment, because this is where life is actually happening. And when we spend so much of our time and energy in those two dualities, in the past or in the future, we stop living. And this is really the power of coming into the present moment, to truly live and to truly play in this wonderful experience of life. That's all for today. I would absolutely love for you to share how you are going with this technique and any other techniques that you've been trying from the episodes previously. Join me next week for episode 13. Let's talk about sex. Thanks for joining me today, and be sure to subscribe at steppingintoyou.com/InnerGLOW so you don't miss any glowing possibilities. And if you'd love to support InnerGLOW, you can make a donation at patreon.com/InnerGLOW. Sending you love, hugs, and magic.